Greetings everyone from the Faculty of Education and Arts. As we bring the semester 2023-1 to a close, this is a fitting time to reflect on the exciting journey that we have embarked on over the course of the semester. Many of our faculty have been involved with their students and the larger community in several engaging activities. Going into the new year, we are certainly looking forward to expanding on some of these activities. One being the activity that Miss Emma Casey has taken her time and effort and love to develop in her writing across the media class, in having her students gain very useful technical skills in various forms of media production. I would like to extend my gratitude to all members of the department and to the faculty at large for engaging our students in these very meaningful activities. On behalf of the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Arts, Dean Thisbit Lucas Usher, allow me to wish everyone a warm, blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. It is more than a privilege to be representing and to also be a part of this project and to be greeting you on this occasion. And I would like to extend a prayer that my brother Sean Tager and I wrote from the Faculty of Education and Arts in closing. Loving Heavenly Father, we begin this prayer asking for your mercy. We ask for your guidance and your strength, and we ask for healing. May you give us the vision to feel the departed souls of our loved ones beating in our rhythms of love. Their light forever smiles and sings in our joyful hearts. Loving Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us safely here today and for guiding us and strengthening us as we fulfill your will for our lives. Thank you for the light of our gifts you have created us with to develop and share and enjoy. Thank you for this wonderful day and the gift of your Son, whom you sent to love us and teach us to love unconditionally. May we always embody that love and share it with our fellow brothers and sisters, especially in this sacred season, the love that lights the world and every human heart. May you strengthen our minds and bodies and inspire our imaginations to execute your vision as we create new pathways to help our students focus, learn, and do their best. Inspire us with your Holy Spirit in our daily lives, and may the wonder and joy of discovery fill our hearts with light eternal and your beautiful love forever. Amen.
Hello, and welcome to UB in Review from Monday, December 18th, 2023. My name is MARIETTE Romero, and I'm an English major pursuing a bachelor's degree at the University of Belize. I am thrilled to open tonight's newscast, which is the first of an entire week of news broadcasts that will review important events and activities that our students, faculties, and administration participated in during our first semester of this academic year. We start with a feature story by Mia Burns that explores the incredible journey of this project called UB in Review.
This semester, under the guidance of Ms. Ima Casey, students in the Writing and Reporting Across the Media course experience hands-on practical learning concepts and navigating the world of journalism on campus.
Before this class came into existence, there were students who were, very interested in the media, in different facets of the media. So now that we have it in place, we can see how this class presents them a pathway and experience to tap into that interest and also later on pursue perhaps a career in one of those areas around the media.
We learned from our student journalists just how impactful this course was.
This is my first time stepping into the shoes of a journalist. We have been tasked to write news articles and also stepping out into the field to conduct interviews. And I have gained knowledge and most importantly patience, because while we're conducting those interviews, we do a lot of fakes and even making sure we're asking the right questions. Even though it was a challenge, I'm glad that we're at the end and I'm excited to see the Newscast come alive.
So this project was equally challenging as it was rewarding. I say challenging because most of my students never ventured into the field of journalism, and so this would have been their first exposure. So you can imagine having to come out of their comfort zone definitely posed a challenge for them. But at the same time, it was rewarding because I was able to be a part of their growth, being able to hold themselves accountable in meeting deadlines, being able to understand what it feels like to have to work under pressure, to have to deliver because the organization that you might be working for has great expectations of you. And so these are all very important skills. Those skills even that relate to your ability to work with good team spirit. These are all soft skills that I believe are so lacking in the world of work, and that they will definitely be able to use as they enter into their own spaces.
So being a part of the Writing and Reporting Across the Media class has helped all of us step out of our comfort zone, or rather forced us to step out of our comfort zone, because we have had to be conducting interviews with our teachers or professionals in certain fields that require us to ask hard questions sometimes, or questions that demand research or a certain point of view that other people might not be looking at. It has allowed us to view media as a two-way street, meaning that it's not only the reporter, but there's a side of the consumer as well, which gives us more insight on biases and propaganda or agendas in the news. We have had to learn to work together, to put our heads together, to create an environment that's conducive to success in the media. And basically what that means is that we have had to help each other run around for interviews. If one person can't meet, then the other person will do it. And if one person needs help with research, then we can, come and help on that end as well. This experience has been invaluable, I would say. I think that all of us will have something to take with us from this course.
It was an amazing experience to see at our first interview how shy, how visibly uncomfortable the student reporters were, to seeing them now conduct their final interviews. They have grown in so many ways. Sometimes we do need to force the situation somewhat so that we can really understand and appreciate our fullest potential, because sometimes that's the only way we're able to get out of our comfort zone and apply ourselves diligently.
I see this project being quite impactful within the school community, as you see many different students participating, taking an active role in producing content that they are documenting, the community that engages it is not just the school community, but the community at large, because in many instances, these students are documenting narratives from different people from the community who, we know that they are doing different things in different capacities in their communities, but their stories are not always necessarily documented. So it's a two-way street, well, more than that, because it benefits the students, the university community, the community at large, and the opportunities where this could take us are boundless.
Initially, I had no journalistic intent. Like I said, I'm just a creative writer. I just wanted to write my little stories and be done with it. But I found an appreciation for the written word, an appreciation for news media as it is in Belize and in the future that it could have.
This is also my first encounter with journalism. It is a field that I would like to pursue, so I definitely found it very interesting. I have also developed a greater appreciation for the news and all the work that goes on behind the scenes. As journalists on campus, we conducted interviews and we wrote our articles and we had to do our own research, and it was a lot of work. And so every time I watch a news segment now, I think about all the things that went on behind the scenes and every little detail that went into that news segment, and it's just so much more important, and I can see all the patience that went into it, and it's definitely something that I will forever appreciate after this experience.
This project definitely could not have been a success without meaningful partnership, collaboration, and support. We were able to partner with the Love Foundation. Also, we had a fantastic lineup of guest lecturers. Ms. Renee Trujillo from the Love Nightly News gave an excellent workshop, brought hands-on, real experiences to the team. Also, Mrs. Deidre Isaacs-Halak, who is a media specialist, a communication specialist, brought rich content to investigative journalism and ethics. I cannot end this interview without saying thank you to Mr. Lewis from the physical plant unit. He was able to work with me in building our own news desk.
I want to extend my appreciation to Mrs. Miriam Dashiel for having provided graphic design support.
I encourage my students to continue on the path, to believe in themselves, to understand the importance of digital media as we move forward in your different career paths.
As far as the future of the journalism goes at UB, I can see this program developing into a full degree at some point in time. I can see where the university could also create its own broadcast center, right, where we are creating news shows, creating new type of content, offering very different perspectives from what currently exists in the mainstream media. So yes, the future is bright as it relates to journalism and the development of various activities and programs within this field.
We are hopeful for the future of journalism at the University of Belize. As our new series begins, we hope to be embraced by our fellow students and promise a future where truth-seeking and impactful storytelling remain at the forefront of our media. Mia Burns for UB in Review.
When we come back, we join the students from the engineering department, and they're going to be serving macaroni, but it's not what you might be expecting. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back. Macaroni. It's a pretty familiar food, whether you enjoy eating it as a side dish or the main course, right? Well, prepare yourself for an entirely new macaroni experience with our students from the Faculty of Engineering. Christy Dominguez files this report.
On Wednesday, November 1st, students in the engineering department began to prepare for the competitive event that was soon to begin. The main lecturer, Mr. Carrillo, tells us about the inspiring origins of the Macaroni structural competition.
I found the need for students to have something, to have a hands-on kind of experience since they are doing a lot of calculations. Then I said, you know what, let's do something that is effective, and hence we are still doing this from 2008. Right? We had a pause due to COVID, 2020, 21, 22. It was not done, but we are back here again, and bigger and better, hopefully. We also participate in Chetumal. We have been participating there for 9 years now. Our top 3 groups that win, first, second, and third place, we get them, prepare them as well, and we go over to Chetumal. A bigger competition is done there, over 38 teams. We have come out victorious there already, first place and second place in 2019. 2016 was the first place. We are participating against bachelor degree engineers, bachelor degree architects, and we have our associate degree students here winning. It's a big plus for us, and hence the reason I know that students like this participation.
Cyrus shares with us his experience into transitioning into the engineering department.
The transition from St. John's College to here was a bit different because there we were basically more science-oriented theory, but here we get a little bit of practical because engineering is an interdisciplinary major. But if we further our education, we're supposed to be engineers, rather civil engineers, mechanical engineers, or an architect. Basically come from a long line of technical professionals. My dad is a land surveyor, and same was my grandfather, and my uncle is also an engineer, so it's something that I have been seeing or been around for some time now. When I graduated from St. John's College, my obvious choice was engineering because I probably was the child that, when you bought a truck or something like that, I was fascinated with the wheel, fascinated by how things move. So this was my obvious path for studies.
The path to success is definitely a challenging one. Amber Shepherd details the specifics of their preparations.
Of course, we plan to execute and win this competition. We have already planned out our bridge and calculated the tension and forces in these members, and I believe today we will be doing a test run for this bridge and go forward from there. It's fun, it's engaging, we get to work along with peers, and I would say it gives us experience out of the class time to engage with others and to just have a good time.
Being a female in a male-dominated field doesn't stop students like Milagro, who shares her passion as a future engineer.
Women in general are very underestimated, and the engineering department is one of the fields where you can show your capacity, where you can show what you are capable of. This competition has put all of us together. It has helped us to work in teams, and it has been challenging too. We are looking forward to the day of the competition, and may the best team win.
So first place winner goes to Nelson Gallardo, Xavier Gallardo, Martin Gallardo, Francisco Vasquez, and Wilson.
Students flooded the small gazebo to see the competition at full force and witness the ultimate winners step up onto stage with smiles that reflected the pride in their hard work. Belize then set off on November 22nd to the 24th to head up against Chetumal. Beaming with pride, Belize returned, showing off their success as first place, second place, and fourth place winners.
I'm Christina Dominguez with UB in Review. Back to you in the studio.
And while our colleagues from the engineering department were building bridges, our little people over at the Early Childhood Stimulation Center were excited about building blocks at the reopening of UB's Early Childhood Stimulation Center. Elias Luna was there to capture this special moment.
Following a COVID-19 induced pause, the University of Belize's Early Childhood Stimulation Center re-emerged, thriving on community collaboration, and greeted its first students in over 2 years. The relaunch event saw the enthusiastic presence of faculty, staff, parents, and most importantly, our eager students.
The reopening of this Early Childhood Stimulation Center was one of our main goals. We were hoping to ensure that it occurred this academic year. We felt the need to reinstitute this center to allow our students from the Associates in Early Childhood Education program the opportunity to come into the school environment, the actual school setting, to gain their practical experiences. There at the university, in the courses, the students would acquire all the theory. However, there is a great need for that practice. So having the center attached to our university, then they have no excuse for not having that opportunity, that actual school setting to engage in the practical component.
Also in attendance was the president of UB, Dr. Vincent Palacio, who expressed the important role of the center as more than just a valuable asset for the university, but rather an indispensable resource for the community.
This Early Childhood Stimulation Center is one for the community, and the community has embraced it. If you listen to the head teacher talking about who all donated what it is that made up the center, we had the Coast Guards coming and participating. We had businesses from around the city contributing painting equipment, etc., to make sure that this is what it is. As we walked around today, I'm surprised and excited to see the transformation of the buildings prior to us deciding to relaunch this center, this institute. So again, long in making, but very needed.
We asked Dr. Usher if parents and students could anticipate anything new in the school year.
Prior to this reopening, you know that the competency-based education was not the new model that was being instituted in the schools, but that is the new spin. That's a transformation that the ministry has now embarked on for pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools. So certainly here at our Early Childhood Stimulation Center, our students will be engaging in activities that will be promoting that competency-based learning.
The resounding success of the UB Early Childhood Stimulation Center's relaunch was evident, and with its prospects appearing promising, we were curious to learn what lies ahead in the center's bright future.
As we move forward though, we will not stop here at early childhood. We will go into primary school. So we will soon roll out a model primary school. So again, look out for that. I'm excited.
President Palacio wasn't the only one who was excited about the future. Parent John Brasenio spoke to us about his experience at UB's Early Childhood Stimulation Center.
We were strangers, and now basically everyone worked together, and we're getting closer as it should be, because all our children are here and we should be united for the children's sake. But yeah, it's been great, and I just wanted to say thanks to the other parents as well for supporting us and the teacher.
As the relaunched center continues to thrive and evolve, it serves as a beacon of hope, not only for the University of Belize, but for the entire community it embraces. Elias Luna with UB in Review.
On Friday, November 3rd at 7 p.m., the red carpet was rolled out at the opening of the 16th edition of the Belize International Film Festival at the Jaguar Auditorium in Belmopan. The University of Belize hosted this glamorous event, including an entire week of screening local and international films. Shadell Lewis spoke to the director of the Belize International Film Festival, Ms. Suzette Zaiden, who shared more about this event.
The Belize International Film Festival signed an MOU with the University of Belize in order to host our 16th edition of the film festival at the Belmopan campus, as well as to start discussions on a film degree program that could be developed at UB through the Faculty of Education and Arts. This is something that has interested us greatly, and we have been lobbying for many years to put such a program in place where people could learn formally on how to enter the film industry.
UB lecturer and focal point for the Belize International Film Festival, Ms. Emma Casey, was on the morning show on Love FM and echoed the commitment of the Faculty of Education and Arts in providing the opportunities for the development of the creative arts.
This is so very important for us because we are rooted in trying to create productive and innovative citizens. And so for us to be able to do that, we recognize the need to expand our program offerings. There is a lack of screenwriters right now within the region. And so I am so excited at the future of us moving forward in this direction, bringing to fruition a degree in film and TV. A lot of us are obsessed with these Nigerian movies that have been coming, but when you look at the whole process and the evolution of that industry, it's amazing to see how far they've come. And so that in and of itself, you know, it is motivation for us to start, even if it is in our backyard, wherever it is, as long as we have a platform where our students are able to expand their imagination.
And while talks are in progress to bring the idea of a film and TV degree program to the university, Ms. Zaiden made it very clear that there is much to be learned about filmmaking in a formal space.
People tend to think that when they hear film, all you do is haul out on camera and press point and you're gonna clear. There's so much rules. It's a whole language by itself. There are meanings to shots, meanings to why you would use a wide shot, meanings to why you use a close shot. Differences between the emotions that are evoked between zooming into somebody or rolling the camera into somebody, or when you suddenly go out wide, it can indicate that the person is lost or confused because now, you know, the shots, they reflect the mental processes.
So what is the future of film as a form of cultural expression? Here's what Ms. Zaiden had to say.
We're trying to build a Belizean cinema, and that's a movement where we're trying to create films that portray Belizean realities told by Belizean filmmakers, and maybe through our access to technology, how we are interpreting stories. The potential for this industry to take off in Belize is here. We are a talented population. I mean, the Caribbean and a whole is talented. We are a storytelling culture. We are expressive. We have art, we have performance, and so starting to use film tools is just another means of expression.
The Belize International Film Festival serves as an inspiration for the country's emerging film industry, in addition to being a celebration of arts. Sherda Lewis reporting for UB in Review.
Members from the Faculty of Education and Arts, along with the Faculty of Science, made impressive and informative presentations at this year's Belize Kulcha Symposium. This two-day event was live-streamed and had the participation of several panelists, all sharing towards the development of culture in Belize. Here's that story. On September 7 and 8, a two-day whirlwind event ushered in its third annual Kulcha Symposium, hosted by the Heritage Education Network.
Our aim is to bring together anybody and everybody who is interested in Belize culture in any way, shape, or form. So we have a diversity of presentations from both academics, citizen scientists, students, professionals, community leaders relating to the history of Belize, the archaeology of Belize, the modern day issues of Belize, sustainability. So it's really, really broad, and it encompasses people from a variety of backgrounds as well. So it's a space really for everybody who is interested in Belize in any way.
Some of these very presenters are lecturers at the University of Belize. Ms. Teresa Koye and Dr. Christopher DeShiel sat down with Dr. Joyanne DeFore-Bab to contribute to the discussion on culture from their positions as tertiary-level educators of the arts. Dr. DeShield, who has been involved in the People's Constitution Commission, makes the connection.
I've found that the constitution reform experience that I'm engaged in currently, nationwide, has been infiltrating all kinds of areas of academic inquiry and also in our social engagement with communities around. In the context of social justice in higher education, we found, yes, indeed, the Constitution of Belize makes explicit mention of these principles that all Belizeans share. It says, we respect the principles of social justice and have these kinds of outcomes in mind, equitable outcomes in mind. And so obviously this pertains to something as crucial as education in Belize. You would see how that has direct bearing on the efforts toward curricular reform.
And so the question is there an alignment between competency-based reform and social justice?
It is the job of higher education to engage critically with the issues that affect the society. If we are to engage critically, then it means that we have to see ways of improving, because our job is to improve how society lives, functions, thinks, and so on. And to do so, we have to, of course, look at the documents that are guiding the principles of these institutions, such as this, as higher education. So if we can't train our teachers to think in terms of social justice for the betterment of all, then we're not doing our job, and we need a good lashing.
With technology reeking of potential, UB lecturers Mr. Antonio Cano from the Faculty of Science and Technology and Mr. Bronwyn Foreman from the FEA elaborate on the opportunities as well as dangers that can come from Belize embracing technology. Artificial intelligence, namely, poses a great prospect for the future of developing countries like Belize. With limited access to current and reliable data, noted as one of the largest challenges to the developing world, AI offers a solution to the information gap. Mr. Cano, like many other educators, is concerned about the potential misuse of technology by students.
That is a really big learning in a bit of an irresponsible manner to try to circumvent the process of learning.
There is also a reasonable fear in classrooms worldwide about the current evolution of AI technologies. Many believe that writing, a hallmark of formal education, is on the siege. Students can now respond to writing prompts, especially those of the unimaginative sort, using to a lesser degree intel and human intelligence, but more heavily relying on artificial intelligence. Instructors of writing-intensive courses must now contend with conventional methods of plagiarism and the new AI variety of plagiarism, all within an education system that is moving more and more online, and therefore moving more and more towards assessments that are not monitored in person. There is also a legitimate concern about equity regarding the use and detection of AI text generators like ChatGPT. While instructors can readily detect AI use from weaker writers, students with advanced writing competencies often go unnoticed.
It's important for students to be able to still learn the foundational concepts behind the coursework that they're doing, and then learn how to use AI responsibly as a tool, right, that can help them advance professionally. AI is here to stay, and really we have to learn how to utilize these technologies, and as I mentioned before, utilize them responsibly and in a way that is going to further advance our national development.
And how about interacting and involving the UB lecturers? How do you think that involving these lecturers will help to bring in the UB population's interest into something like this?
I think one is we have representation from our national university, which is really important by showcasing that we have these scholars doing this great work that are representing our country, right? So that is sort of putting us on a national stage and an international stage, because we also have international academics at the symposium as well. And hopefully we can be sort of a platform that helps them sort of perpetuate their the reputation of themselves as well as the university, right, and the country. There's a need for it. There's a need for this kind of space, and we are trying to fill that need. And hopefully we can, we'll see how it sort of evolves, but hopefully we can sort of continue that into the future, right?
Evidently, the space that the Kulcha Symposium provides facilitates an environment that allows for the linking of relationships between all things that contribute to the development of Belize. Belize celebrated its 42nd independence, and among the many national celebrations, the University of Belize, in partnership with the People's Constitution Commission and NICH, presented a public lecture on the state of the nation. Panelists include Dr. Maxine McKay from the Faculty of Education and Arts, along with our very own history student, Jaden Coleman. Mia Burns was there and shares this report.
On September 6th, the Conference Center at the University of Belize Belmopan campus buzzed with energy as students, faculty, and visitors came together for a crucial conversation. The talk of the day: constitutional reform.
So at the university, while we have a role in terms of disseminating information and knowledge to our students, we also have a responsibility to the wider public as well. So events such as these allow the university to get into the homes, get into the radios, the cars of the average citizen, so that they can also be a part of the sharing of knowledge, part of a complete understanding of how Belize is actually governed and ways in which they can participate in that process.
We spoke to Dr. Maxine McKay on how young Belizeans can become informed and actively participate.
I think if you make it more innovative and creative for people to participate, especially the youth, then we make it enough participation. We have to get them more action oriented. So in order for us to get them present, we have to offer things like scholarships, and we have to maybe lower them into the engagement wherever possible. If we see that they're on the basketball court playing, we go to them. If they're on the football court playing, we go to them. If they're at the clubs, we go to them. We find where they are and we bring them into our spaces to get them more involved.
Jaden Coleman, a UB history major, joined the panelists and made his mark on the movement, becoming involved in constitutional reform.
If you want to change the world, you need to start by changing yourself. We need to idealize what Belize should be, and then we start embodying the principles that are conducive to that ideal nation. We need to be aware of what's going on in our constitution. I think one of the panelists highlighted our lack of knowledge about the Constitution, and we need to accept that there's not going to be a set subject in which the Constitution is taught. It's up to us as Belizeans, patriotic citizens, to seek out the information, because it is there, most of it, and try to fill in the gaps where we can. Belize is in a very unique position, being geographically positioned in Central America, but aligning more with Caribbean history. So what we've been trying to do in there just a few minutes ago is wipe away what colonialism has done, wipe away the stains on our institutions, and try to develop something original and that contributes to a prosperous Belizean society.
Okay, thank you very much, and you did great in there.
Thank you.
We also got to discuss with Mr. Egbert Irving the process of continuously addressing the state of the nation in order to improve it.
We must recognize that in nation building, it's a continuous process. We will never totally achieve utopia. It must be a working process. So while we have a constitution and we've had several amendments, and we're hoping that we will improve our constitution, improve the way we're governed, we will never achieve full universal access, full universal inclusion. Those things are ideal goals. So while we have these lofty goals, we know that they're a bit difficult to achieve, but nonetheless, we should work each and every day in order for us to break down some of those barriers and try to, as much as we humanly can, allow those who are marginalized to be included in the process.
The crowd left with thoughts of the transformative power of reform. Students and visitors alike shared opinions, asked questions, and even suggested ways the theme could resonate with the younger generation. Mia Burns for UB in Review.
And that's it for tonight's newscast. If you really love this broadcast, you want to share it with friends or watch it again, find us at UB's Jaguar Journeys podcast channel on YouTube. Please be sure to join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as my colleague Sherdal Lewis anchors. We end off our broadcast with the official trailer of Belize Unknown, a featured documentary that was screened at the Belize International Film Festival. Once again, I'm MARIETTE Romero. Until tomorrow night, Jaguars, stay connected and stay inspired.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
Belize got independence in September of 1981, and we had a protected area legislation by November of 1981.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested.
It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. So we truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for croc catchers.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
How often do you think people get stuck on this road?
Often.
Oh, God. Just as I said that.
Stop.
That's gorgeous.
So tell me now, was it worth the drive?
Every single bump.
Yeah. I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and conch. And then we realized it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
I mean, they're so high up. How did the poachers even get them?
The poachers are just like a ranger. They actually study these birds.
I don't know if a lot of people know that Belize has this. Everybody often thinks of beaches and diving and
jungle.
And jungle, totally.
We can work with nature in a way we've never worked before, with nature's permission. We're going to live closer to nature in the future than we ever had before because we have discovered the secret.
This place really is incredible.
Oh yes, 20 years I've been here and every day is exciting.
Oh.
We're just getting our feet wet. So there's a bright future ahead. Bright future, very bright future.
Having our own food, our own music, and our language.
We are everything that matters in one little place.